Hello and welcome to the League of Legends European Cosplay Contest created in partnership with Riot Games. I'm Jordan from Grid Online, and today with my friend Shapi, we're gonna be your hosts.
My name is Alexandra Tora and I'm a judge tonight representing our European cosplay community. I'm a cosplayer from Poland and I create costumes for over 10 years now. I specialize in making armors, wings and props.
Along with Shapi, the jury of judges will include two of our friends from Riot, Mel and Sarah. Say hello to our viewers.
Hello! For those of you who don't know who I am Mel. I go by Riot Swim Bananas on the internet. At Riot, I am an influencer manager. I work heavily with our North American cosplay community, and I have been cosplaying, give or take, 5 years. So most of the cosplayers in this contest are more experienced than I am. So it's slightly awkward to be a judge on this panel. I will do my best to honor all of the newbies out there and, be a good judge. I am very overwhelmed and very excited because I haven't been able to see cosplays in real life with quarantine, so this is gonna be a good time.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Kulik and I go by Riot Jinx in the community. I've been working at Riot Games now for over 7 years and I'm an influencer marketing lead in North America. I love also supporting content creators like yourself and have been actually cosplaying for over 25 years. Which does kind of date me a bit, but I have loved this community ever since. And I also really love working on larger-than-life builds like this with weapons, and so I'm really excited to see what we have today. There's going to be some amazing talent and huge, awesome projects. So let's check it out.
Okay, enough with the introductions and let's get straight to the point. Our jury of judges will judge the contestants' costumes based on 3 factors: faithfulness to the source material, craftsmanship, and overall presentation of the contestants, while the awards are €250 for 3rd place, €500 for 2nd place, while the winner gains a grand prize of €1,500 and this special trophy you can see over there. Apart from that, the jury of judges has also decided to give out a special jury trophy of €250.
Our contestants come from across the whole Europe. Their extraordinary craftsmanship, attention to detail, and the well-thought-through construction process brought them a place in the finals. This achievement is praiseworthy already, since our judges have picked them out of nearly 60 applications. To build up your interest, we'll divide them in 4 different categories, which are presented in the most characteristic parts of their costumes.
So without further ado, let's begin with the first category. Take it away, Sarah.
So first up we have group number 1, and this group is made up of costumes that require extra padding, bodysuits, and generally changing the shape of your body to fit a champion. Okay, so costumes like these are actually some of my favorite because it involves completely transforming the way you look to embody the champion, right? So that could be turning into a monster, changing your gender, species. It's just so cool what you can really tackle by using different techniques and materials. So let's dig in and see what they have.
Have you seen my vertebrates?
I'm Little Gem and I'm from the United Kingdom, and today I'm showing off my anniversary Annie-Tibbers cosplay. I chose this cosplay because it's full of colour and full of just an unnormal amount of unnormalness, which I guess isn't really a word, but you know what I mean. It's kind of a crazy costume. But more importantly, this costume celebrates League of Legends' first 10 years, which is exactly what I wanted to do. This cosplay for me really brings back all my great memories with cosplay and League of Legends.
The balance of power must be preserved.
Hello, my name is Hanabi, I am from France. For the League of Legends cosplay contest, I decided to make a costume of Kassadin, the Void Walker. I chose this character because I wanted to do a male costume to change a bit, and I found Kassadin was an interesting choice. It would require to find a way to make a male upper body, and I liked the challenge.
Magic is in the heart. Magic is in the rhythm.
Hi, I'm Blink, I'm from Poland, and character I chose is Rakan in his Star Guardian skin. Why this character? Mostly because colors, and I love all Star Guardian skins designs. The most challenging part is also the part I'm most proud of. It's the feathers of the cape. I spent a lot of time making them, trying to make everything look as perfect as I can. So for the cape, I really wanted it to look really natural and dynamic, and open like a wing does, so every feather is connected to each other, but also can move individually.
In carnage, I bloom like a flower in the dawn.
Hello, I'm Envy, and I'm a cosplayer and a singer from Spain. Jin is my favorite champion of League. I think he's perfect in every aspect. So if I have to choose a cosplay to make, of course it must be one of Jin. I chose this skin because it was a challenge to me. I wanted to choose a difficult project but beautiful at the same time, so I thought that Dark Cosmic Jin was the perfect option. Also is the fourth skin that Jin got. I know coding ASKT one.
Okay, so first up we have Little Gem with Anniversary Annie and Timo Tibbers. Is it Timo or Tibbers? Why not both? Okay, so this cosplay is larger than life. I know I've said that a couple times, but this one takes the cake. This thing is huge. Look at the size of Tibbers. He is so majestic, and he actually moves. This is crazy. I'm blown away. And also the painting, the shading, the materials. Look at the size of the props. It's just really, really impressive. And I'm also a fan of Gem's work for a while now, and I've loved seeing her progress on this one specifically. And look how adorable and cute the Annie turned out as well. A perfect complementary to this giant Tibbers Timo. All right, so good luck, Gem. So next we have Kassadin by Hanabi. This one is really cool. I'm a fan of it because talk about transforming your silhouette to look completely different. She no longer looks like a she's a monstrous void walker. How cool is that, right? They use some great foam techniques to make a really clean and detailed costume. The body and armor, and I absolutely love how they contoured and kind of defined the muscles to make them look completely different. I've tried this before. It's really hard, so great job. This is also really brilliant because they recreated the movement of Kassadin on rollerblades. So you kind of have that floaty void walker look, right? Which is really cool. So I hope you can see a video of it soon. So next we're going to look at Blink's Star Guardian Recon. This Recon is so awesome. I really love how stylized and detailed it is actually. The painting and sewing really brings it to life, and they really took their own approach and take on the character and the design. Really left their mark on it, which is cool. Made from foam, gems, fabric, and fur, the textures really are impressive. I also really like the use of makeup and shading on Blink's bodysuit, and if you look at that cape and all those painting details, you can literally see the galaxies in them. So really great work. Such a joy to look at. Good luck, Blink. Dark Cosmic Jin by Envy is next. This is a cosplay and just a skin in general with a lot of details. Another great build showcasing a lot of foam work and fabric, and look at the lights. They're on top of the head, they're in the shoulder piece, they're in the gun. That is really cool. I think this may actually be the first time I've ever seen this cosplay, so that's impressive to me in and itself. Oh, and did I mention that they added the extra limb that Jin has, like outside of his back? That's pretty cool and also really hard to do. So way to go, the extra mile, Envy.
Thank you, Sarah. Mel, can you tell us something about the finalists from the second group?
Oh boy. All right. So group two, also known as the Big Builds with Exceptional Armor group, is probably one of the ones that when I was first looking at the finalists, getting sent all the final videos, I was just like, all of them, I just wanted to immediately click on them and just watch the videos over and over and over and over again, because every single one of them have so much amazing detail on their costumes. It is ridiculous and it is insane. Yeah, the level of detail on these things is just over the top, and it's one of those costumes, or all of these costumes are ones that you just want to like look at it from every possible angle, which makes me sad that I can't see them in person, but that's okay. Videos are just as good. So I want to talk about some of the cool details that I noticed in group number 2.
The dawn has arrived.
Hello, my name is Julianna Mikucka and I'm from Gdynia in Poland. In League of Legends competition, I choose the role of Leona in her epic Solar Eclipse Leona skin. Why she? Well, maybe I don't usually play supports, but when I do, Leona is my first choice. It took me about 3 months to create her costume, and it was one of the biggest challenges for me. I wanted to show the most faithful and realistic representation of this full armor, so rich in details and color nuance, along with a glowing full-scale sword and a shield with movable mechanism.
So long I've wandered.
Hello, my name is Lisa. I am from Norway, and for the League of Legends Cosplay Championship, I decided to cosplay Pulsefire Riven.
I decided to cosplay Riven because Riven was actually one of my first self-made cosplays and my first League of Legends cosplay. And I decided on Pulsefire Riven specifically because the skin is very elaborate and there are a lot of details, so there was a large range of things I could do with it.
On wings of fire, hope ascends.
Hi, I'm Tina, and I'm a cosplayer from Poland. I've been playing League of Legends for over 6 years now, and when I saw the contest announced, I just knew I wanna take part in that. Kale was a pretty obvious choice for me. She's epic, I wanted something big, and I chose the Iron Inquisitor skin because it's like straight out of the Dark Fantasy series. All of the armor parts in my costume are made out of EVA foam. It's great, they are light and quite comfy to wear.
What is broken can be reforged.
Oh, sorry. My bad. My name is Gloria, and online people know me as Micha Glowers with Angel Cosplay. I decided to take part to the League of Legends European Cosplay Contest with Riven from the cinematic Awaken. When I watched it, I fell in love at the first sight. Her outfit has my favorite color palette, and I was also excited to make battle damages pieces for the first time, so Riven was the best choice.
Yeah! So group number 2, first of all, we have Juletska with her Solar Eclipse Leona. What I loved about her Solar Eclipse Leona was the use of materials. She used a ton of different materials. There's EVA, she mentions thermoplastic at one point. I know she also uses 3D printing. I am a 3D printer fan myself, if you can't tell from behind me. So the level of complexity with how many different types of materials she used really stood out to me with this costume. Next up, of course, is Foam Fox's Pulsefire Riven. I was confused at first. I thought this was her first costume ever, realized that she had done a previous Riven, and that was her first costume ever. I was going to be a little intimidated if this was the first costume that she ever made, but it was not, and I feel better about everything that I've ever done in my life. Similar to our Leona, she used a lot of 3D modeling and EVA foam, which those two materials together can be kind of tricky to put together or combine together. Materials in general don't like to mix too much. And the subtle detail about her costume that I really like, that I really wanted to call detail to, even though it's not a highlight of this category, is the shaved head on her Riven wig. Shaved wigs are really hard to do. The shorter the wig is, the harder it is to make it look realistic because you don't have anywhere to hide anything. So the fact that she was able to put a bald cap on and just make it have those layers to it is mind-blowingly cool. 10 out of 10 shave wig. One of our 3 Kales across the finalists. Kale is apparently very popular for this cosplay contest. We have Trina, who did Iron Inquisitor Kale. The thing about this Kale that I loved was the paint job is so clean. Like, there's shading in it, but it's super subtle shading, almost to the point that it looks like it is cartoonish in style. I don't know is cartoonish the right word? Probably the right word. League of Legends has a very fantasy pop art style. I'm sure Thomas or somebody who's more intelligent than me later on can tell you what that actually is. But to me, I read fantasy pop. And so their use of their painting skills to make that shine, to finish it. They talked about sanding it in excessive amounts of detail, and you could definitely tell that a lot of care was taken into the finish of the foam and thermoplastic pieces so that you could then paint it to this level of exquisite just beauty. The silhouette of the 4 wings. Again, I don't know why I'm judging these cosplay contests. All y'all are way better than I will ever be. So yeah, that is my 2 cents. Last but not least, obviously, in this category, we have Sweet Angel, who in her base Riven. Now, it's a little confusing, I'm sure, as an audience member, why this person was put in this big build with exceptional armor when she probably has the most simplistic of all of the armor builds. But for anybody who's ever tried to work with leather and make their own steel bone corset, it is not easy. It is not a skill for the faint of heart. And the fact that the sewing on this piece is just so exquisitely clean. Even though Riven is meant to look like rough and tumble, awaken, roll around in dirt with Darius and headbutt him Riven, this Riven looks super duper duper clean. If you look at the detail shot that she had where she was calling out that she finished the inside and the outside of costumes, none of my costumes are finished on the inside. So you could tell that this person is definitely a seamstress first, and that is just a skill that I think should be highlighted, even though it's not a bigger armor build.
Thanks a lot, Mel. Now let's go back to Sarah to tell us something about the next category, category number 3.
All right, everyone. Next we have group 3. So for this group, we're looking at costumes that require special considerations with their construction. All right, and that means such as wings, stilts, and other really cool moving parts. I love how crazy these projects can be because they take so much extra planning and theory crafting that needs to go into the creative process, right? There's so many more things to consider. And I think that for these type of projects, you learn a lot with new materials and techniques. So let's dig in and see who's here.
Magic tricks, adorable.
Hi mortals, I'm Kale, and welcome into Hell of Hell. You mean in real life? I'm Hanabi, cosplayer from France. Why this costume? Because I'm the goddess of metal. Okay, stop trolling. This costume was crazy interesting to make. 'cause I use a lot of techniques and materials. For example, I had to modelize in 3D on Fusion 360 software the belt buckle, jams, and the sword.
My blade is at your service.
Hi, I'm Cali. I'm from the UK, and my entry for the League of Legends European Cosplay Contest is Nightblade Aurelia. I knew I wanted to cosplay Nightblade Aurelia as soon as her rework was revealed back in 2018. I loved the direction Riot took with her, both in-game and for her character model. I thought she just looked so cool. Big armor costumes are my jam, and I really thought the elements of Aurelia would be fun and challenging to make. The mask, the hair, and those incredible blades.
How beautiful your mind must be to think such things.
Hello, my name is Alice, I'm from Poland, and today I'm gonna show you my newest cosplay, which is Iron Inquisitor Kale. I chose her because she is a symbol of the boundless faith, and she is such a powerful character, and she's gonna reach her goals no matter what, and that kind of characters always motivate me to believe in my own abilities.
When feels like calm and we stand still unwhole.
Hi, my name is Jan, but my cosplay nickname is Kanta Cosplay, and I'm from Poland. When I saw new fiddlestick design, I immediately fell in love with it, and I decided to try my best to recreate it and take part in the competition. To be honest, I think that most of people pick their cosplay based on the champion they're playing. But in my case, I only play female characters, so it was harder to pick. I decided to go with Fiddlesticks because I love his new design and I love how they changed him, making him a lot scarier.
Okay, so first we have a Pentakill Kale by Elothin. I think I said that right. This is one of our number of really impressive Kales today. And what a challenging cosplay this one is, and presented in such an authentic way. I love their videos and how they presented the character in this one. Talk about really bringing the champion to life. Lots of techniques here are used as well. Different materials, foam, 3D printing, leather, feathers, and remote-controlled movable wings. Like, you don't get much more badass than that. And I've also cosplayed a Pentakill skin, actually a Sona, so I really love these metal skins a lot and think this one turned out beautifully. Excellent work, and thank you so much for sharing your cosplay with us. Okay, so next we have Cali Mac with her Nightblade Aurelia. A less commonly seen cosplay, at least in my circles as well, and handmade all the pieces and the patterns. So she did a lot of work here. I love the final silhouette a lot. And those blades, she also had to create a custom harness for. And so if you do that really well, it can be a lot easier on your back. And things like this one here, I'm kind of clamshelled in here, so I hope she did a better job. She used both in-game and splash to kind of composite her final version of this cosplay and skin. And it's also made from one of my favorite materials, foam, and she included hidden pockets as well in the cosplay. For other creators out there, you know how valuable this is and how important. So, next, we have one of my favorite skins. Minotaur brought to us Iron Inquisitor Kale. So, another really awesome Kale. An ambitious skin with a challenging silhouette to recreate. Again, the wings are absolutely gorgeous. Very detailed and extremely clean foam work. A lot of effort went into getting that very pristine, smooth final look. Light up sword, painted mask, and lovely shading throughout the full piece. They also did some iterations with this costume, and so for the final version, which was the second paint job and added the extra details, I think it was really amazing. They did great. And it's really actually cool to see them learning and making some individual choices as we neared the final parts of the contest, right? So I'm sure a lot of cosplayers and creators out there say, hey, I like this piece, but I could do it better. Let's redo it. And it's really cool to see that in this short time, so great work. Okay, this one's kind of spooky. So we have Kanto with fiddlesticks. This is the new design even, which is really impressive because it wasn't that long ago and took hundreds of hours for them to build. Great use of the stilts in this cosplay, and the proportions really help bring Fiddle to life. As you know, I'm a big fan of big props, so that giant scythe looks so awesome. And I love the weathering on this armor to really get that kind of rust, old, crickety feeling to bring this costume to life as well. I'm just so proud of all the details here, and it really kind of resonates with me because I like the spooky costumes too. Great work.
It's time for the last group. Mel, can you please tell us what do you think about it?
So group number 4 is the interesting LEDs and wigs group. So spoiler alert, they all used interesting things such as LEDs or wigs. But there's other techniques in here too. So there's not just, here's all the people with lights and cool wigs.
Let me guide you.
I'm Megastrona from Poland. I made a cosplay of Dawnbringer Soraka. Soraka was the first character in League of Legends that I played with. I chose the skin because I love the design with double hooves. The whole costume is over 270 centimeters high and is still comfortable to wear. I created it in 6 months.
Okay, everybody, I'm here. I'm here. The party starts now!
Bonjour à tous, je m'appelle Mathéo, ou Oren Cosplay and Prop sur internet. Rakan est un projet qui me tient à cœur. Le personnage sortait à l'époque alors que je commençais à m'impliquer dans le cosplay, et il regroupait absolument tout ce que j'aime dans un personnage. Les Vastaya sont des créatures fantastiques qui par leur design nous font basculer tout droit à Ionia et dans l'univers de Runeterra. Rakan, avec ses pattes, ses oreilles, ses griffes et ses yeux perçants, est à la fois un personnage charmeur, drôle et élégant. J'ai attendu quelques années le temps de me perfectionner avant de me lancer sur ce projet. Le costume est en grande partie fait en mousse EVA pour les pièces les plus grandes. Le haut de la cape ainsi que le haut du pantalon sont cousus en tissu et en mousse pour avoir une meilleure tenue. Toutes les pièces sont doublées en satin ou en cuir. Les crânes sont faits d'une base en mousse EVA 5 mm puis sculptés en foam clé.
I have one simple rule when it comes to the law. Time operates under my jurisdiction. And if anyone tries to create a loophole, I'll close it.
Hello everyone, I'm Maya and I'm one of the 16 finalists in League of Legends Cosplay Contest. I'm 19 years old and I live in a small town in Poland. I started cosplaying about 3 years ago and my first cosplay was Misfortune for a small local event. Since then, I made lots of cosplay from League of Legends like Misfortune, Wayne, Syndra, or even Aurelia. I decided to choose Pulsefire Caitlyn because it is one of my favorite skins in the whole game. I'm a big fan of the Pulsefire skin line, so my next cosplay is probably going to be Pulsefire Flora.
And Caitlyn was also a big challenge for me because of her huge and the most amazing gun I have ever seen. It takes lots of space in my room, but I don't think I'll be able to sell it in the near future.
Death is like the wind, always by my side.
Hi, my name is Chorik and I live in France, as you can hear. This is my famous baguette. I decided to challenge myself for this contest and created a Yasuo cosplay. Why, you might ask? For one special reason. Everybody hates him, especially when he is in your team. You know, this is the famous 0-10-0 power spike.
So the first person, we have Megastrona. She is wearing Dawnbringer Soraka. Before we talk about anything else, I love the shoes. Where did you get them? Did you make them? Can I have them? Thank you. The reason why the shoes are so impressive is just the level of height that this costume has, with like the dangling bits, the wings that are not attached, the halo that's not attached. Any of those like adding extra pieces to your body, you usually want to have a really sturdy base to your costume, aka really sturdy footwear, so that you feel confident and you're able to move around and those things have a base to attach to. The fact that you are wearing heelless shoes and have floating wings and have a floating crown and have a giant staff is overwhelming, and I'm excited for you, but also terrified in a good way, I think. The other thing I really enjoyed to highlight it was the wig itself. I know you said that you used wood glue on the wig to keep it as stiff and specific as possible, which is a creative use of wood glue. I've never thought about using wood glue on a wig. Also, my earpiece is falling out again. I love that. I also love the use of color and how you made the bodysuit. A lot of times when people make a bodysuit that then attaches to wings, in the front, it gets really baggy, and you can tell that it is oversized for them in order to be able to slip the base of the wings in. So I love that when you are looking head on this costume, there's none of that extra fabric in the front, so the entire front of your bodysuit lays perfectly flat. All right, next up we have Oren, who made a base Rakan. Hello, my friend. I know that you have sent me some messages on social media. It's nice to finally be able to see your beautiful photos and video. The shading on the fabric in the pants in particular, I wanted to highlight. This is a technique that works really well on some costumes, for example, this Recon, where you take a airbrush or another paint, or sometimes oil paints, and you hand brush along the seams to, again, try to achieve that League of Legends fantasy pop art style. So I really like that Oren did that part. That part, I think, is probably one of my favorite parts. But also, the reason why this is in this category is the wig dough. Yeah, wig dough. Rakan wigs are always one of the, two wigs in League of Legends that I always get scared of, just the thought of being able to, how would you even start to build it? Not because the shape is over the top and dramatic, but because that hairline is super difficult to achieve. For anybody who's watching who's not a cosplayer, might not understand. In order to simulate real hairlines, you very often have to use lace or a lace front wig is what it's called. But it's basically like a little bit of a webbing that you can glue down to your hair. And the strands of the wig are put in there and a little bit more spaced out, so it looks a little bit more natural along your hairline. The tricky part is, though, Rakan's hairline is like feathers. So you can't use that same technique. You can't use that lace front really soft method because you're not going to get the pointed feather look that is on his wig. So I love that about Oren's Rakan, is that they clearly took the time to make each of these strands, even though I don't think they're actually made out of feathers. I could be wrong. Moving on. I have Hostile Hospital's Pulsefire Caitlyn. What I really, really liked about the Caitlyn's piece was the amount of LEDs that are in this piece. Like, I think this is probably the most amount of LEDs in the entire finalist lineup, just because it is in the gun, it is in the jacket, it is mostly the gun and the jacket. I think there's a couple of other places that the LEDs are in, but the gun is huge. I am an ignorant American, so when they said how big it was in centimeters, I had to Google it. But my bad. It's way bigger than I originally thought it was. And so the amount of LEDs alone that have to go into making that beautiful back armor piece on the jacket, as well as in this, as well as in the gun, that's a lot of LEDs. And if anybody's ever tried to solder their own LEDs or use their own LEDs, it's a tedious, slow process. Even if you're using things that are already existing, putting it in takes a long time to do that. So I would just the thought of that alone and the amount of hours that took is impressive. Also, they changed colors. Other things that I liked about the costume was that the fabric or the method of which you finished the gun matches the bodysuit, so it looks like it's a cohesive unit. I run into this issue all the time when I'm making costumes where my fabric and my props will look slightly different in their finish because I'm using paint versus fabric, and it doesn't look quite right. So the fact that you were able to make them be much more cohesive, I think, is much better use of that skill. I really, really liked that part of the costume also. Last but not least, the last of the finalists of all of the human that you possibly were waiting for, because they are the last one. We have Chorik, I believe. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. Made a Yasuo. Remember when number one wig that I get of when someone says they're doing of them is whenever I get nervous, just because the amount of volume on your head is massive, and it's in my opinion, the most iconic part of Yasuo's silhouette. If you take Yasuo and boil him down to just a silhouette, it's the wig and the giant sword. And so making sure that you have that over-the-top dramatic ponytail is an absolute necessity for Yasuo. So in my opinion, the fact that they were able to get that wig to stand upright and be that prominent, and even in the video when she took it off and was like showing it off, it wasn't ever limpy. She didn't have to take hairspray. Like, the tip of it was also just as stiff. So that to me says that she did a good job doing the math of the weight of the hair wefts, in addition to what structure or what material is going to be in between keeping it upright. Beyond just the wig, though, she did a fantastic job of the detail pieces on the armor, making sure it looked weathered but also still clean. Sometimes when people do weathering, it makes it look dirty or messy. She did a fantastic job of making a weathered look that was still very clean and refined. And that's group 4.
Okay, we've seen all of our talented contestants, and their costumes were simply mind-blowing. Now it's time for the judges to commence their discussion and decide on the winner. Meanwhile, let's go to Thomas Riot Hillia Randby, an artist from Riot, and ask him about the process of creating skins for the game.
Hi, my name's Tom Ramby. I'm a concept artist on the League of Legends skins team, and I'm also a hobbyist cosplayer in my spare time.
Can you tell us something about the process of creating a skin for the game, and could you describe it step by step?
So a concept artist's job is basically to imagine a character recontextualized inside of one of our really fleshed out and numerous alternate universes that we have within League of Legends. League has a really distinct narrative approach when it comes to skin design. We have a ton of different universes in League. We've got Star Guardian, we've got Project. The new line of Spirit Blossom skins that just came out is a fantastic example of League's approach to narrative when it comes to the cosmetic content in-game. So it's not so much just a different cosmetic appearance for a character, but it's really, what does this character look like when they become this version of themselves in this entirely different narrative context. So when you're working on a concept, basically what you're doing is presenting a number of different directions, a number of different ideas to your team, and trying to decide which of those directions feels most at home in the universe you're fleshing out and feels most successfully representing that character's unique champion identity for players. So the team will take a look at a broad concept of skins, and each time you present a spread, you're basically narrowing down the direction that you want to take a skin until you lock in the unique position for the character in the narrative. So after concept wraps that up, it moves on into the character art phase, and a character artist will begin fleshing that concept out within 3 dimensions. So a character artist's job is to basically take the image that a concept artist creates and flesh it out in 3D so that it can physically move within League of Legends, whether it's on Summoner's Rift, on the Howling Abyss, on the new Ionian Nexus Blitz map. And a couple different artists come into play here. You've got your character artist who is working on the model for the skin, but there's also the tech artist who is responsible for hooking that model up to the animation rig so that the character is able to move in conjunction with all of the base character's animations. So tech art and character art comes next. And while tech and character art are working, Concept is collaborating with the visual effects artist to basically flesh out how that champion's spells and abilities will look once they're running around on Summoner's Rift. So recontextualizing the base champion's abilities within the new narrative that we're trying to present them in. So after, and it's interesting because the way that skins production works, it's not really a one person does their job and then the next person does theirs and then the next person does theirs. There's a lot of overlap to the different disciplines. So while a concept artist is fleshing out a character's spells, a VFX artist and a character artist could be working on the skin at the same time. Everyone is contributing holistically to make sure that a skin is the best version of itself that it can be.
Do you take cosplay into account when creating a skin? Do you consider that bringing to life a certain character, body type, or an element of a character can be difficult for a cosplayer?
You know, during the concept phase, while we're deciding what a character is going to look like in the game, whether we take cosplay into consideration, and the answer to that is emphatically yes, at least in my case. I mean, because I've been in that situation, you know, I have worn several costumes to conventions that are really, really awkward to get around in. You don't have pockets, you don't have any place to put your phone, your wallet, you have to drag someone around with you to make sure that they've got all your stuff, to take pictures of you. So it can be really, really... it can be really difficult, you know, when a design isn't really made to be worn. And obviously that can't be paramount to the decisions we're making when it comes to skins design. You know, making sure that the experience in-game is the best it can be comes first. But, I mean, in my case, at least myself and I know a couple other concept artists on the team consider when they're putting designs together, yeah.
Okay, now the moment you've all been waiting for. After a long and difficult discussion, our judges are ready to announce the winners. The choice was really hard as all of our cosplayers really brought their best work to the table. We wish we could award all of them, so at least let's mention some of those cosplays that were especially good.
Let's start with my own personal shoutout, which will be Tina with Iron Inquisitor Kale. This costume blew us away with the amount of details which were put into this build. Tina has made her own 3D models, patterns, and also the proportions of this costume were flawless. We are so happy to have such a beautiful Kale in our contest, and I hope to see more of you in the future.
Personal shout out goes to Kanto, who made the fiddlesticks. The part that I loved the most about the Kanto fiddlesticks was that you served us laying on a lounge, chaise lounge, with a fiddlestick's head on a platter as the introduction to your video. Like, you were here to give us a look. You were here to give us a spoop. It was here's the head of the spoop on a platter as I lounge on this beautiful chaise lounge, because this was such a beautiful, easy cosplay contest that I can just serve you this spoop head. And I like that energy. Can we be friends?
Alright, So next, I'm really grateful we get to shout out a personal build that really spoke to us. For me, I would like to highlight Hanabi's Kassadin build. This is a really unique champion, and I love kind of something that's a little different and quirky. And this type of build looks like it was really fun to kind of theory craft and think about and plan. The fact that they used rollerblades to recreate the Voidwalker's movement is super impressive and really creative. It looks really great, so I hope you can see it on the video as well. This is also a build that I really like because it completely transforms the artists in a different silhouette, and they look so different from their original photo. So I don't know if you can see that, but it's truly impressive. And they did some really creative things as well. The spikes are removable, unlike mine, which is smart, and the foam work is so clean. It's just, I don't know, it's really inspirational for me and really wants me to actually start and build and create a bit more, and it's been a while since I've worked on something, so thank you so much, Hanabi, for inspiring me.
Thank you so much for your special mentions, but now it's time for the main prizes.
Magic tricks, adorable.
Hi mortals, I'm Kale, and welcome into Hello Hell. You mean in real life? I'm Hanabi, cosplayer from France. Why this costume? Because I'm the goddess of metal. Okay, stop trolling. This costume was crazy interesting to make, cause I use a lot of techniques and materials. For example, I had to modelize in 3D on Fusion 360 software the belt buckle, jams, and the sword. Talking about the sword, I incorporate LED strips controlled by Bluetooth with my phone to react with the music.
Blah 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 blah.
You see, it rocks. I dress myself only with high quality clothes. That's why my jacket is made in Italian lamb leather, while the belt and the fixes are made on vegetable tanned leather. Of course, a great singer like me must have the best hairdressing. I use a harder front lace wig on which I sewed locks and form for max volume. And that's it. What? Want me to talk about the wings? Well, okay. It's a homemade aluminium structure carried by hinges woven on steel sheets set on a harness. They are mobile, moved by actuators and rubber bands. Powered by 12-volt battery, all controlled by remote. Is it heavy? You weakling.
Pentakill Kale by Alothian. What I love about the Pentakill Kale submission, personally, is just the level of being in character that you were. The video was in character. The submissions were in character when we creeped on your Instagram. Your Instagram was in character. Everything, I felt that you were having fun, not only making the costume, but being the character. And I know that that was not necessarily like on the list of things that we were looking for in judging, but for me as a human who loves cosplay, Cosplay's for fun, and I could really tell that you were having a lot of fun with your costume. Also loved that your wings moved. Like, making those many wings and having them move is not an easy concept at any stretch of the imagination. And then just in general, your leather work, the time that you took with it, making the video, editing the video. I just want to be your friend. You did a great job. 10 out of 10.
Congratulations, we loved your build so much. The use of techniques and materials was out of this world. You make a great Pentakill Kale. Awesome work.
Hi everyone, I'm Little Gem and I'm from the United Kingdom, and today I'm showing off my anniversary Annie and Tibbers cosplay. I chose this cosplay because it's full of colour and full of just an unnormal amount of unnormalness, which I guess isn't really a word, but you know what I mean. It's kind of a crazy costume. But more importantly, this costume celebrates League of Legends' first 10 years, which is exactly what I wanted to do. This cosplay for me really brings back all my great memories with cosplay and League of Legends. Also, I really like this costume on a cosplay standard because it has so many different techniques involved to create both the characters. In order to create Tibbers and Annie, I had to use loads of different techniques, and some of these techniques were things like different types of foam techniques, sewing and patterning for fabric and for foam. I used airbrushing for the fur, shaving and trimming for the fur, casting for the details such as the mushrooms, sculpting for things like the nose, carving of the foam, both EVA foam, which you can find in like yoga mats or gym mats, and very light upholstery foam, which you can find in things like sofas or chairs. For the wig, I had to use loads of different techniques. I used ink for the wig to get the right shading, lots of backcombing, trimming and hairspraying to get these unrealistic sort of spikes that Annie has in her hair. I also did hand sewing, not for fun, but because I generally thought my sewing machine would be able to do it, but it did not fit my tiny Tibbers through the sewing machine, so I had to hand sew this. Continuing this, I needed to use woodworking techniques to make the stilts for Tibbers, so he can be tall and the wearer can be safe. I also had enough time to create light diffusing properties for his telescope. And finally, there are many different types of thermoplastic techniques used, so I could create details that were strong enough, such as Annie's belt and Tibbers' toes. The biggest challenge of making this cosplay is quite obviously the size. I had 3 months to make this entire thing originally, but actually it wasn't the time that was the challenge. What was the challenge is I had to make it accurate but also wearable. And in order to make it wearable, I needed the costume to be light, I needed it to be strong, and I needed to make it easy to be able to move. Bigger costumes are obviously a lot harder to make because you have to change the shape of a human body and make it into something else, but still be able to wear it. But the extra problem with this is that Tibbers isn't just taller, he's actually wider. And if you imagine, the wearer has to keep their arms straight so they can have their Tibbers' arms outside of the body. But because the body's so fat, you only have a small part of your arm that is able to control his arms. So even though I managed to keep this entire costume light and strong, the arms will always be a problem because you can't fully move your own arms. Saying that, I kept the costume completely squidgy and bouncy so the wearer can still move the arms. Another problem with this design is Tibbers is supposed to be some kind of bear, but he has very, very, very short legs. So as you imagine, when you're trying to move Tibbers, he's only got stumpy little legs. But I kind of use that in my favour because he's supposed to be a big clumsy bear that sort of stomps around, so that really wasn't a problem as long as I kept the legs nice and light and flexible. I'm most proud of the face because I believe when you're creating a character, everyone always looks at the face for the most resemblance to it. And I really believe because this is like a form of Teemo and Tibbers, you had to get the right level of a little bit of cute and a lot of sort of creepy. And because Tibbers is like a scary nightmare bear and Teemo is kind of like that annoying iconic face, I really feel like I've got both of those in his face, and I'm really proud of that. I'm also really proud of how quickly I was able to bring both Annie and Tibbers to life under such a short amount of time in the middle of a pandemic too. I made this completely by myself in such a small room. I'm really surprised with how neat and how well I got it to actually be at the end. Going back to that this is a 10th anniversary skin for League of Legends, I really love that when I first saw the design, I realized that Annie wears a green and purple wristband in the in-game model, and I believe that those two colors together are too much of a coincidence to not be a reference to the bands they gave out in, and I can't remember which worlds it was, but one of the worlds where the purple one said I hate Teemo and the green one said I love Teemo. I really love that that could be a reference because I still have these from many years ago, and now I have a chance to wear them again and remember all the fun memories I have at all the League of Legends events that I've been at and all the times I've cosplayed all the characters I love.
You can't come to Tibbers' tea party!
In third place, we have Anniversary Annie and Tibbers by Little Gem. Amazing work, a larger-than-life build, and truly impressive. Congratulations, Little Gem.
Teemo is obviously one of my favorites, but I didn't let that bias me. What put me over the edge for Little Gem getting third place was her paint job. Like, the fact that she was making something that's larger than life, having to build her own skeleton, was impressive in and of itself. But I know it's the smallest part of the costume, but if you just look at the photo of the 3 little mushrooms sitting on that little bench, the level of just like the paint job and the paint treatment on that is a representation, I think, of her abilities and her skills. There's that same care was taken with the fur as a part of the Teemo, the level of airbrushing and detail that was put into the Teemo itself, just, it was so clean. And then fact, obviously, that it's larger than life. That's not easy to do in a costume. I think you were the only one who had to build your own skeletal frame for your costume of the finalists. So, good job, girl.
My bad. My name is Gloria, and online people know me as Micha Glowers with Angel Cosplay. I decided to take part to the League of Legends European Cosplay Contest with Riven from the cinematic Awaken. When I watched it, I fell in love at the first sight. Her outfit has my favorite color palette, and I was also excited to make better damages pieces for the first time, so Riven was the best choice. This costume took me 4 or 5 months to make. I've been working on it in my spare time, mostly during weekends or at nights. Cosplay is not my main job, so each project requires a lot of time. The wig is my favorite piece to make. I styled a long and white wig and also added a dark gradient on the roots to make it more natural. I love the sword just as much. It's made of EVA foam like the armor. They have all been painted black and a metallic silver with a dry brush. In the sword there are LED hidden by a green plastic which I shaped with a heat gun. I took the sewing part very seriously as well. The seams are clean outside and inside. The corset is made of fake leather and has metal bones. As a finishing touch I added some shades and weathering. The best thing, I'm free to move as I want. I can run, I can jump, I can do choreographies. Well, this is my Raven cosplay and I hope you like it. This is not over. We will meet again.
And this one might be a little bit surprising. So Sweet Angel's Riven is a very simple costume. If you look at just like holistic silhouette compared to the rest of the finalists, or compared to most of the finalists. What put her over the edge is she made this costume so impeccably, perfectly clean. When we were talking about what was the negative of Sweet Angel's Riven, it was that it was simple. There was no like, the silhouette feels slightly off, or that it's not fully finished, or there's nothing clean, or she's missing something. It was just that it felt simple. And the fact that someone did something so well that it looked easy or simple when it is clearly not, in and of itself is a testament. So highlight 1000% her detail work on the corset, the level of detail in finishing in the ripped up, torn up armor pieces, or fabric pieces that are still clean and still well put together, even though they're supposed to be torn up and dirty. Just the fact that she made this look easy to make when it's not is 10 out of 10. Definitely worth second place.
Looks may be deceiving, but this one is immaculate. Maybe not the largest build, but the sewing and detailing, leather work, and bringing this champion to life was absolutely phenomenal. She looks like she stepped right out of the cinematic. Awesome work.
And finally, it's time to announce the winner.
Who will be the winner of League of Legends European Cosplay Contest, the grand prize of 1,500 euros and this amazing trophy?
Hello, my name is Alice, I'm from Poland, and today I'm gonna show you my newest cosplay, which is Iron Inquisitor Kale. Starting from the top of the head, I made a halo and the mask using my own bust life cast. And later I put clay on this life cast and I sculpt the mask, then I use a thermoplastic to take the skin of the curved clay, and she is very thick and lightweight, as you can see, and it's just very well fits my face. Actually, all the fabric pieces, like this one, I made out of the EVA foam, fake leather, and also a fabric, which is a sandwich tape, I think. So, you cover up the EVA foam with a fake leather, and then glue it with a contact cement. And it looks really clean, it's flexible, nothing cracks, and it's really lightweight. What you need building big armor. My favorite piece was the wings. They took me like 2 weeks, but before I built this, I made the smaller version for the first version of my Kale, and then I thought they are too small, I need to make bigger, and then I figured out I'm gonna make them move, because I want to make exactly character as the game, so I follow the moves of Kale wings in the game, and I want to make them move the same way. And here is how they look like. While making those wings, I was inspired by animatronic tails, and those tails moves the same as my wings. And this part for me was very challenging because I want to keep the shape of the Kale's leg. That's why I used my own cast. So I made them 3 times, and this one is the best one, and I'm really happy with the results. And also I'm really happy with the boots because I wear low-heeled boots for this one, and I made it from plastic to make it more durable, and also it's movable to walk easily in these boots to don't stuck. After the leg parts, this one, the back piece, was also very challenging because it takes a wire inside, 2 sheets of EVA foam, glued and hand-dyed fabric to have this gradient, and also a lot of gluing with contact cement, EVA foam, and make everything looks clear, flexible, durable, and to make it with shapes that you want. This is the Kale sword, the biggest lighting sword that I made. I have accelerometer inside, so I don't need any Bluetooth or smartphone to make my sword look alive. I chose her because she is a symbol of the boundless faith, and she is such a powerful character, and she's gonna reach her goals no matter what. And that kind of characters always motivate me to believe in my own abilities.
One of my favorite skins, absolutely amazing. The amount of effort and work and iteration that went into this build is absolutely phenomenal, and also the video is a must-see. Congratulations. We're so proud of you. Thank you so much for taking part in the contest.
Like, this was so difficult to make a decision on, but girl, you did so many things. You have moving wings. You have a fully casted mask. You have light up pieces. You have, like, the ability to walk and move through the magical forest. Like, you casted your own feet to make the feet armor. Like, just the level of, like, complexity to this one. When I talked about the other one being simple, you did this one. This has so many different things going on, so many different techniques going on, so many different skills and executions that you had to learn or utilize for this cosplay contest. And then you were able to execute it flawlessly. Like, I thought that you did a fantastic job of being the character and challenging yourself. You took a lot of the risks and techniques that you wanted to learn or you wanted to do or you wanted to up the ante on, and you did it, and you took the time to execute it to the nth degree. And it clearly shows. Just, again, I know it's a small detail of that costume, but the mask is just beautiful.
Congratulations to the winners, our contestants, and thanks for participating.
We are so proud of this community who has brought us so many amazing costumes. Thank you so much for your dedication and patience.
In closing, I would like to thank all of our contest winners, everyone who submitted, and also those that made it to the finals. That's truly impressive, and I am blown away by the talent and the passion that you all exhibited. It's been my pleasure to help evaluate all of your entries, see your progress, and witness your videos and magic come to life.
All right. I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for having me. I had so much fun. Next time, I want to see more costumes. That's what I want. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. We hope you have a great day, and we hope we'll see you next year.
Bye.